Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for coming on a busy Saturday to attend presentation and communication skills session. Well, this session is going to go on for around 30-40 minutes, and I'm going to share some basic techniques. Whatever I'm going to share with you, that is my personal experience, what I learned over the years, or this is how I improved my communication skills, my presentation skills. So I'm just going to give you all those things directly. And another thing is, in order to improve your communication and presentation skills, the most important thing is action plan and then acting upon that action plan. Now, for instance, we have the class here, we have the session here. I give you an action plan that you have to do this, number one. Number two, you have to do this. Number 3 and 4 and 5 and all that. If you act upon those things, your presentation skill will improve. And if you go back from here, forget everything, seminar I attended and that's it, once upon a time, then most definitely this session will be just like a sort of entertainment for you, because I will try to entertain you as well. A good presenter should see the needs of the audience. So I'll try my level best during this session. You guys don't feel bored and you feel good, relaxed and all that, right? Now, you are all here. This thing shows that you want to improve certain areas of your life. We all need improvement. From birth till death, we always need improvement. So your presence shows that you are keen on improving certain areas in your life. So if you are keen to do that, something has brought you here. There is something inside you that actually brought you here. So if the same motivation continues in the very near future, you will become very good presenters, very good communicators. And by the way, we need communication skills in every aspect of our life, personal or professional. You see, in personal life, if you are a good communicator, your family members will give you more value. Even your relatives, your cousins, they will talk to you, they will share their problems with you because you are a good communicator, right? In professional life, if you are a good communicator, a good presenter, you will be highlighted very soon. Then they will take you, please, we have this new product and we want you to deliver a presentation on that. So if you have this skill, you will be actually chosen. So all you need to do, you need to polish these skills. We buy a pair of shoes once, but then we polish it as many times as we use. Before using our shoes, we polish them all the time. Same is the case with the skill. We acquire a skill only once, and after that we polish it. Once upon a time, I learned to speak English. And since that time, every day, every week, I polish my English. I learn something new. I improve my pronunciation, my accent and all that. So this polishing thing continues as long as that skill is with us, right? So far so good? Yeah? All right, that's good. So, as far as this presentation and communication skill is concerned, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to ask you this simple question. Do you know how to bake the flatbreads? Roti? Okay, that's good. And boys, do you know how to ride the bicycle? I'll give different example, don't worry. Ladies have different example, gents have different example. So if you know how to bake the flatbread, once upon a time, when you took the dough of flour in your hand, you wanted to play with that. Your intention was not to make the flat bread, but you wanted to play with that. While playing, you tried to, because you saw your mother doing it. That is everyday activity. 3 times a day in our household, flatbreads are made. So you saw, so you took that dough in your hand and you tried to copy your mother. And then one day, you just made a flatbread which was not round, which was not thin, but actually that was a great achievement for you. And since that time, today, you are really expert in baking the flatbreads, but you never notice. You will never tell anyone, hey, look, I can bake very nice flatbreads. It's basic for you. So whenever we acquire the skills, they become basic part of us. But for others, that is something awesome. Now, for example, you can bake flatbreads. I can't. For me, this is something awesome. For example, you speak English. I don't speak English. For me, you are awesome. So this is how you need to add new skills, new talents, polish those skills, and there you are, you will become a green apple from red apples. See, have you seen that photo? There are so many red apples, but one green apple. And remember, in order to become that green apple, you have to work hard on your skills, on the talents God has bestowed upon you. You just need to refine or rediscover. Once there was a guy who was making sculpture. Somebody asked him, wow, you are amazing. You make the finest sculptures. And he said, I don't do anything. I just take a piece of stone and I remove the extra stone and it turns into a sculpture. So all of us have that stone with us. All we need to do, we actually need to develop that stone into a sculpture, which is very, very important. Anyways, let's go on. Yes, I was talking to you boys about riding the bicycle. So when it comes to riding the bicycle, initially a two-wheel bicycle is very difficult to balance. See that? You take control of the handle, and then there are two wheels. You fall here, you fall there, because you are learning. And learning to ride a two-wheel bicycle is something amazing. At that age and at that stage, I remember when I learned to ride a two-wheel bicycle, I was telling everybody, I can ride a two-wheel bicycle. Other one is the supporting wheel bicycle. First, you start with supporting wheels and then just two wheels, right? So initially, it's difficult to balance, to control. Then the same bicycle you ride without even holding the handle. Does that happen? Yeah, you are just going, flying in the air and all that stuff. So communication or any skill in your life is just like a raw talent inside you. Remember one thing, whatever you start working on will develop. Whatever. For example, you want to become a good teacher. Start working on your teaching, you will become a good teacher. You want to become good at cooking, for example. Start working on that, and after a couple of years, you will become a chef, right? A skilled chef. So wherever you put your focus in life, that thing will start growing. This is the rule of the nature. This is not what I'm saying. This is the rule of the nature. Wherever you start focusing, that thing will start growing in your life. So you can put some attention to this communication skills, and that will develop as well. Okay, we are going to discuss few things. How to prepare for your presentation, verbal communication strategies, non-verbal communication strategies, and all that. Now, basically, whenever we talk about communication skills, there are four components: listening and then speaking. Why I said listening? Because whenever a baby is born, the baby doesn't say anything, but only hears. Everyone who comes to see the baby, they talk. They talk to the baby, goo goo, or something like that, whatever they say, right? They talk to the baby, and then after 6 months, after 7, 8 months, the same baby starts producing some sounds. Right? First is hearing, only hearing without any understanding. Right? That is why a Punjabi baby will speak Punjabi, Chinese baby will speak Chinese, because what they hear, they produce that. Whatever is input, that is actually output as well. So hearing is the first thing. From there, we develop speaking. And after that, when we go to school, then we have reading and writing. If you still remember your ABCs, A apple, B bat, C cat. So that's what we learned at school. But before going to school, we knew apple, cat, bat, and all that. But there they told us that this is A, this is B, and all that stuff. Okay. Now a simple question. Why do we make presentation? Very simple, to inform others. Right? And one more thing I want you to do. You can even observe me. You can evaluate me. Not only me. Evaluate everybody. For example, you're watching TV and there is a press conference going on. There's a politician. You're watching TV, there is a film star who is giving his interview, right? You're watching TV, there is a popular singer, musician who is giving his interview or her interview. So you need to observe deeply, how is their body language? What is their speaking style? How are they frankly talking comfortably? And then try to adopt those things. You know, all of us, we are just the copycat of many people. I am the copycat of my teachers. My teachers who taught me when I was at school, college and university, all the teachers who taught me, I am the copycat of that. But now that copycat has become one style, all rolled into one style. And now I go on, I teach my students and they will try to copy me. So we are all the mixtures of others' talents, other styles and all that. So the first purpose is to inform others. You know something, for example, it can be a product like iPhone. I have a phone and I work for that company and I have to tell others about the new model of the company and all that. After this we have train. Now teachers, what do? They use their communication skills to train their students. So if teacher is good at communication skills, the students will understand everything. Next, entertain all the comedians. We have a very good example of Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin did not say anything. It was just like his body language, music, his movements, and he was the best comedian in the history of the mankind, Charlie Chaplin. Then we had Mr. Bean who followed him and all that. So that is also for presentation. But now we have that stand-up comedy. You might have seen some people standing up and making other people laugh. So that's another thing. Inspire. Motivational speakers are the good example of that. So if you are good at your presentation skills, you can inspire people. I have seen some motivational speakers who are not even motivated. How can they motivate others? Like if you are not yourself motivated, how will you motivate others? So in order to become inspirational personality, again, your communication is going to play important role. Persuade, convince. You might have seen heads of states, presidents of different countries, when they negotiate, they have dialogues, right? Like, you know, our Prime Minister, he addressed United Nations or many other forums. So there, because of their communication skills, these people are highly regarded. The salespeople, the salesmen, sales staff of any company, they have to use their communication skills and all that. Okay, now we go on. It is said the first 30 seconds of your presentation are the most important. You guys came in, you might have heard about me before, but when you came in, I opened my mouth, I started speaking, talking, and then you realized whether you have to listen to me or you have to look at me. See, sometimes we go to the seminars, and the seminars are quite boring, but we have to respect that speaker who is there. So we just look at the speaker and nod our head. All right, carry on, boy, carry on, and all that. Okay, so this is what happened in the first 30 seconds. Audience, they decide in the first 30 seconds whether we have to pay attention to this speaker or we just have to look at him and that's it, right? So you need to gain the interest, attention, and the confidence of your listeners, and that's what you can do in the first 30, 40 seconds, 1-2 minutes. What we say in English, first impression is the last impression. So that first impression should be the lasting impression as well. Lasting means it continues till the end. It's not in the beginning you say, oh, very good. But afterwards, like, you know, there are some speakers, you attend their one seminar, you will be totally impressed. Say, wow, amazing. You attend the second seminar, they will speak the same things. You attend the third seminar, they will speak the same things. They will say, come on, he has limited knowledge. So first impression can be deceptive also. First impression can be sometimes very good, but later on you realize, when you come to know the reality. Okay, now we move on. Pre-presentation tips. For example, just imagine, in order to get best out of this seminar today, you just need to imagine that on Monday, you have a presentation. Just imagine, on Monday, You have a presentation, maybe wherever you are, wherever you work, you can imagine some audience as well. Okay, you have a presentation. Now, when you think about that presentation, these points will actually connect with your images, with your imagination, and you will be able to learn or understand better. First objective. What's my objective? Now, I'm talking to you. My objective is, by the time you leave this place, you should be clear how to deliver a good presentation. This is my objective. One is speaker's objective, one is actually audience's objective. So these objectives should be similar. What my objective is, what your objective is, you have come to learn presentation skills. I have come to deliver on presentation skills. So if our objectives are met, at the end you will be happy, I'll be happy. But if your objectives are not met, you said we came for presentation skills and that was a sales seminar, or they were convincing the students for their class and all that, you will not be happy at the end. So by the way, we are not going to convince you for anything at all, right? So your objective must be clear. After that, content knowledge, very important point. Now, what's content knowledge? What do you know about the topic? If you are going to deliver a presentation about the history of your country, how much you know about the history? If I'm going to deliver a presentation on my hometown Lahore, how much I know about Lahore? And by the way, your content knowledge must be at least one step beyond the knowledge of the audience. Otherwise, they will not listen to you. How would you feel we are doing a big seminar about Lahore, this city, and you come to attend the seminar and I say, Lahore is a beautiful city. Lahore is a very nice city. There are many roads in Lahore. Traffic is very much in Lahore. We have this and that. You say these are basic things. We know these things already, right? So your content knowledge must be at least 1 to 2 steps ahead of the audience. By the end, they should say we learned something. Otherwise, cow has 4 legs. Everybody knows. Why are you telling? Right? Everybody knows that thing. So you should prepare yourselves well. If you have good content knowledge, people will listen to you. Otherwise, nobody wants to waste his or her time, right? Next, the audience. Now, you speak for the audience, right? And your communication style depends on the audience. The way I talk, when I talk to my children, my style is different. When I talk to a young baby, my style is different. When I talk to my father, my mother, my style is different. So actually, audience, they really, really matter. Now, for example, you are my audience, I'm talking to you, I'm telling you all these things, you understand. If my audience is like children, and I have to deliver on presentation skills, my style will be different, my words will be different. So you must consider the audience and then come up to the level of the audience, and your content knowledge should be beyond the level of the audience. Next, venue, place where you have your presentation, time management, very important. Now see, when we started the session, you were asking a question there, when will you finish? And we said almost 5. So we are going to finish it at 5 or before 5 and all that. Now, no matter how good I am, have you ever noticed one thing? Whenever you watch any motivational video clip, initially you are inspired. Initially that clip is motivating you, charging you and all that. After 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you start feeling bored. Same clip you're watching, initially it charged you, but after 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, that's the human nature. No matter the speaker is highly motivated and all that, but the audience, they have some limit. So time management means you need to consider their time. Let me tell you now, speakers or presenters' time is not that much important. Audience time, their time is more important, because they have other things to do and all that. So you should manage your time. If you're given 10 minutes, 1 hour, half hour, you should finish it in that time. Delivery method, you can just see, introduce your topic, go on with the body of your presentation, and then you can come towards the conclusion. But for method means, now for example, I'm using PowerPoint, multimedia. Usually I don't use PowerPoint in my IELTS class because there my delivery method is different, right? I teach my IELTS classes while sitting here, but now I'm standing here because I'm doing a seminar. So this is what we call method, and method depends on what you are going to deliver, how you are going to deliver, then you can adopt the method accordingly. Structure, very simple. Initially, you need to introduce yourself. My name is Asad Yaqub, and today in this seminar, I'm going to teach you how to improve your communication and presentation skills. So let's take a start with pre-presentation tips. Now you tell the audience what is going to happen. Like just, during your presentation, you are like a tourist guide. Have you seen the tourist guide? They're telling you, look at that mountain, that is Rakaposhi. That mountain is this much high and all that stuff, right? Next, we've got PowerPoint, if you want to. Otherwise, now, you know what happened in the past? People did not use PowerPoint. Then the time came in 1990s, they started using PowerPoint. Now, once again, they are going beyond PowerPoint. They want to just speak to the audience because some speakers, some presenters believe PowerPoint is a distraction. So it's up to you if you need, but I mean, for me, it's okay. You can see what I'm speaking, right? You can see all the points. So it's up to you where you are delivering. Sometimes you have to deliver a presentation in the park, in the open air, no PowerPoint. So you should be ready for that as well. Handling the question and answer sessions. Now we will have a question and answer session towards the end as well. And if audience asks you any question, the first thing is don't be nervous about questions. Don't think that if anybody asks me a question and I don't know the answer, what will happen? Don't worry about it. I mean, we are not perfect and we have to acknowledge it. If you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I should have the courage to say, I don't know. If I say I don't know, I'm actually honest with you. And second, if I don't know the answer, I still try to answer the question, that means I'm not being honest. So credibility of the presenter is very, very important. What is credibility? Whatever the person is saying, first they say who the person is, and then they see what the person is saying, and then they believe you. Otherwise, sometimes presenters are speaking and audience, they are saying, I don't believe him. Right? So you should just see that as well. Take care of yourself. Now, if being a presenter, your mood is good. Sometimes you go for job interview skills and your mood is good, you come out successfully. And sometimes you go for job interview, your mood is bad. When your mood is bad, then everything is bad. Then you will fight in public transport also. You will have argument with your siblings or with your parents as well. Even the things will not favor you, so that at the end what happens, you just fail to do that very thing. Take care of yourself. If my mood is good, I can deliver a nice presentation, frankly, and by the way, you will not see it, you will feel it. This is not something you can see. I can put a fake smile on my face, but in your heart, you will feel that this person is actually not happy. He's trying to pose all these things. So take care of yourself. If you are sleepy, if you have a headache, and you have a presentation, you will become a headache for all the audience as well, right? Be careful with that. Practice, practice, practice. See that? Through practice, you learn to bake the flatbread. Through practice, you learn to ride the bicycle. So if you practice presentation skills, you'll be able to achieve that. Okay, now in this part of the lecture, I'm going to discuss two important things with you. One is verbal communication. Second is non-verbal communication. Very important. Now the points which I'm going to share with you, you just need to see. And by the way, you need to ask yourselves a question. Do I follow these points? If the answer is yes, well done. And if the answer is no, that is a list of contents which you need to work on, right? So let's just go on. All right, what I'm going to tell you now, this is the summary of all the session. Like you can say this is the takeaway. Takeaway means these things you will always remember. Remember, whenever we make a cup of tea, if we want to make a good cup of tea, what do we need for that? Number one, if we want to make a good cup of tea, what do we need? Number one, milk. Number two, water. Number three, sugar. Where is tea? Huh? Milk, water, sugar, and tea also. Tea bags or tea leaves or whatever. And then we need stove and all that stuff, right? Now, we've got the same components which are used, but the tea that people make, the taste of the tea varies. Have you noticed? Now, for example, if you think tea should be strong, you will make a tea that is stronger and darker, right? If you believe tea should be sweet, you will add more sugar. So the tea you are going to make, that is going to be sweeter than the other teas. And you believe, what is tea? Milk and, like we say, dudh patti. Okay? So that tea is going to be milky. And you believe tea should not be so milky. Let's add some water. So your belief system matters a lot whenever you make tea. Okay, in the same way, whenever we communicate, there are three essential components for good communication, and you need to focus these three essential components. First of all, we have words. Words, that means language that you speak. If your presentation is in English, so words means the language that you produce or the language that you speak. After this, the second one is voice. Voice means the pitch and variation of your voice, how you speak or how you utter those words. Enunciation, that's what we call. And after that, the third point is your body language. Words, voice, and body language. Now, actually, communication experts, they believe whenever you communicate effectively or for impactful communication, the role of words is only 7%. You'll be surprised. Language that we speak, words that we speak in communication, the role of the words is only 7%. After that, we have voice. About voice, they say it accounts for 38%. Now, what is words? For example, if I say, I am happy. Words. If my voice is not supportive, the message will never get across. I say, I am happy. Today I am very happy. I mean, what I want to communicate, because remember, communication is something that flows from the presenter to the audience, and there are feelings and emotions involved in it. Communication is not just the word, like give me a glass of water and that's it. No, communication is where feelings of the presenter, emotions of the presenter, they also get across. And for your feelings and emotions, voice is the best channel. Now, for instance, if I'm going to sympathize with you, I'll say, I'm really sad to know you injured your thumb. For example, you got some cut on your thumb, and I say, I'm really sad to know that you injured your thumb. And if I say, I'm really sad to know you injured your thumb, if I speak like that, you will be angry with me. See, look, I am injured. Like if someone is sick, and you say, oh, really, I'm sad to know you are sick. Look at that, right? So your voice is going to transfer feelings and emotions. That is why your voice should match your words. If your words have no voice, no appropriate voice, then the words are feelingless, meaningless, passionless. You might have seen in the movies sometimes the hero says to heroine, I love you. And the heroine slaps his face and says, Chal jhootha, you liar. Okay, when feelings and emotions are not mixed through voice, right? So the people who are expert, they can understand that it is fake. So if your voice is not supportive, then your words become fake. Nobody will believe you, nobody will trust you and all that. And after that, we have body language. This is what experts call visual. Visual means now I am talking to you. Your ears are responsive, but at the same time, you have two ears which are responsive, listening to me. At the same time, your two eyes are looking at me. So body language is most important. That accounts for 55%. Okay, now just imagine if I'm going to talk to you and I say, ladies and gentlemen, I really welcome you all here in my presentation skills seminar. I hope you would enjoy this seminar. First of all, we are going to talk about communication skills, and we see how can you improve your communication skills and all that. See, I'm not moving. This is better, or this is better when I say, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all here, and in today's session, I'm going to teach you how to improve your communication skills. Which one is better? The second one. Why? Because there is body language. Without body language, it's boring. B for body language. If it is missing, then B for boring. The seminars that you attend where the presenters are just standing and talking and talking and talking and talking, just their lips are moving. That's it. So you feel bored over there because eyes, they need some movement. I mean, if you just look at one object, for example, if I'm looking at the glass, just looking, after some time I'll be bored. I need some movement. I want to see if I'm moving here and there. Your head is moving, you're looking at me. So body language is crucial. Now, whenever you speak, use appropriate words, and these words must be supported by your appropriate voice. If the message is important, say, well, I want to tell you something very important. My voice is different. If I say, I tell you a joke, I tell you a very funny joke, my voice is different. And if I'm going to talk about some serious issue, say, every day in 24 hours, thousands of children are dying because of starvation. And this is such a serious issue. My voice is serious now. So this is how you can mesmerize your audience. In order to become an impactful communicator or speaker, it is important to mesmerize. You know, they use the word hypnotize. So a good presenter should not hypnotize, but actually mesmerize the audience. For that, you can use all these things, okay? Let's go on. The same thing here. Instead of words, voice, body language, they used verbal, vocal, and visual. We call it 3 V's. V for verbal, words. V for vocal, voice. V for visual, that is body language. Okay, now we move on. The last 2 slides and then the show is going to finish. Right? We've got 20 minutes more. Verbal communication strategies. The first thing is volume. What is volume? Volume means your voice. Right? So now I'm talking to you without any microphone. I have just a camera mic attached with me. Otherwise, I'm speaking with you without microphone. And I think you can hear me loud and clear. So being a presenter, your voice should be audible. This is very important, number 1. Number 2, being a presenter, your voice must be energetic. If you are a presenter, you want to become good communicator and there is no energy in your voice, you speak lazily. For example, you are hungry and say, please give me some food, I am so hungry. Just imagine some people around us, we see who are talking lazily, right? These people are never in any authoritative role in their life, right? So volume is important. Let's just talk about husband and wife. If wife has a high volume, she will control things, right? She will control husband also and all that, okay? So volume is important. Next is pitch and pace. Speed with which you deliver your content. that really matters. Now you might see sometimes when we talk, we take some pauses, and those pauses actually help the audience to understand whatever you are speaking. Now pause does not mean that you don't speak fluently. Pause means you give some time to the audience to perceive your message. Although they are receiving it, but to perceive and to process and to understand, for that you might take some pauses. For example, if I say, if you want to become a good communicator, you just have to do it. Try to watch different TV programs and see how different presenters are performing, and one day you will become like them. Thank you. Something like that. Right? So pauses will really help. Have you noticed if you are scolding someone? You know, sometimes you're scolding a child. During that, when you take a pause, the child is like this. Say, why did you go outside? I told you to stay home, but you don't listen. And then again pause. Sometimes the child will be crying. So pause actually creates that very thing, right? Next we have pitch and pace, then pauses and intonation. Intonation is change of voice according to the message. For example, if I say, are you from Lahore? It's a question. If I say, are you from Lahore? It's not a question, right? If I say, I am from Lahore, it's not a question. But if I say, I am from Lahore, it's a question, right? You are from Lahore, for example, it's not a question. You are from Lahore, where you put your stress, that will change the meaning. So we just call it intonation, and for intonation we've got certain stress patterns. Intonation is the up and down of voice. For example, if you say, in my free time, I go out with my friends to eat ice cream. Now see how I'm speaking the word ice cream, because I like ice cream very much. If you say, I like ice cream very much, I like ice cream very much. So whenever you talk excitedly, you have the rising intonation. Whenever you talk sadly or seriously, you have the falling intonation. That's important. Next, the tone of your voice. Sometimes positive words deliver negative message. Negative words deliver positive message. I give you an example. See, you are in a household and a child who was drinking water from the glass, and suddenly the child dropped the glass and the glass broke into pieces. And you look at the child and you say, excellent. You look at the child and say, excellent. Now that excellent does not mean bring another glass and break it. That excellent means you are actually conveying something else. For instance, if someone is wearing a coat, right, and I wanted to buy that coat, I couldn't buy that. If he is wearing that coat and I look at the coat and I say, you are looking very nice in that coat. When I say you're looking very nice in that coat, words are positive, but the meaning is negative. That means I'm feeling jealous, right? So tone is important. Artificial fillers, you might have noticed sometimes some people are talking and doing a lot of, I want to tell you, and something really important, and after that, or sometimes some people say, you know, it's very important, it's very good, this is what I want to say, it's very hot today, traffic jams are increasing day by day, that's what we call artificial filler and all that. You should avoid these things. Humor, if you smile, because smile is contagious. Laughter is contagious. Yesterday I was driving to Royal Palm and I saw a man who was smiling. He looked at me, I smiled back, he smiled more. So smile is contagious, right? If being a presenter, because nobody wants to listen to any boring person. Nobody wants to be serious in life. Already we have so many things to be serious in life about. Like sometimes domestic issues or domestic problems or other constraints and all that. We already have so many things to be sad and serious. We don't expect a presenter to be sad and serious, telling you his sad story. Right? I was engaged, then I got married, and last year I was divorced. And oh, come on. Are you here for another marriage and all that? You are here for actually a presentation. So don't be sad. Don't make people feel bored in your presentation. Okay, now we move on. Last slide before we finish, and then we'll have your question answer session. Body positioning. When you present, you can stand anywhere. I've got this podium, so if I want to stand here, I can do that. That's fine. And if I need to use the board, I can come over here and I can use this board as well. And if there is any important point here on the screen, I can use this thing and I can just point that out as well. Remember, in presentation, the speakers have the freedom to move around. It's not that you are a presenter, so you are a presenter and you will not go anywhere from here, because otherwise niche gir jayenge, you will fall down or anything like that. You can move around freely, but that movement should be like body positioning should be at a place where everybody can see you. Now you guys can see me. If I stand over here, again, you can see me. If I stand here, yes, you can see me. But if I go somewhere in the corner, then you say, where is the presenter? All right, okay? Yeah, that's important. Once there was a presenter and he had microphone and everything attached with him, and suddenly there was a call and he didn't know the mic was working. He went outside to receive the call. That was maybe his wife. Tenu main kya visi call na kari aje main presentation dena hai, baad che gal kari, tu nahi murdi. And everybody was listening. Look at him. And then he came in. So, you know, if you are not original, you will never make progress in your life. If I am faking to be someone else in front of you and originally I am someone else, I will never make progress in my life, because it is very difficult to manage two split personalities. That's what we call split personality. With you, sir, please, sir, have a seat. Oh, look, chai leke aao iske liye. Or something they're shouting, get a tea for him. Sir, please, sir, how are you, sir? I told you to bring, see that, split personalities? You don't know. If you are a split personality, you can't even manage yourself. And as a result, you will be confused all the time. So, you have to be real. Real means what you are the same every time. It's not that you are different. Next is your posture. Now, posture is the way you stand. Right? If I stand like this, my hands in my pockets, and okay, I am a presenter here. It's very cold morning, so I'm feeling cold. Gloves lao bhi mere gloves lao. Something like that. So this is not good body posture. Posture should be something which is active. Right? Now, for example, you're sitting on the chairs. See, you're sitting actively. It's not that you're sitting back at the chair and you're trying to stretch and all that. These postures are negative. When you are in front of the audience, your every movement is monitored. If there are 25 people who are watching you, that means there are 50 eyes which are observing you. So you have to be careful. Even if you scratch your head third time or second time, people notice that. If you touch your nose, people even notice that as well. In one of my presentations here, I noticed one thing about a presenter. He touched his nose 9 times. Just, or whatever. He touched his nose during the presentation 9 times. Right? So you should be careful about that. Next is movement. You can move. I'm standing here. I can come over here. I can move here. If I want to go to this screen, I can move here. But these movements should be precise. And these movements should not be continuous movements. That continuously I'm moving and telling you this, yeah, I'm delivering presentation and all that. That is not good movement. Hands. Your hands are very important as far as your presentation skills are concerned. Even your personality is concerned, your hands play an important role. Now, if you stand something like this, that shows you are a gentleman. If you're standing like this for a photo or anything like that, how would you feel if you're standing like this? What does that mean? Huh? Yeah, gangster or angry type of person, right? So that's what we call your hands, they play important role. If you're angry with someone, you put your hands here. What's the problem? Right? Now this is male style. You're angry with someone and you say, what's the problem? Okay, that's the female style. So if male is doing what's the problem, he will have many problems in his life. You understand? Yes, exactly. Next we have facial expressions. Face is the index of mind. Face is the index of mind. Whatever is going on in the mind, it comes on the face. But actually, in order to be a good presenter, you should wear a mask. Right? I mean, for example, if I have something else going on in my mind, I should not show that to you. That's my personal. Here, this is my professional thing. So, if you go anywhere for job interview, your face should not show that you are nervous. Some people are nervous, but they never show. Some people are afraid, but they never show their fear. They manage the fear. So, management of fear, management of nervousness, this is what we call confidence. So, you become confident when you start managing. Now, inside, I'm afraid. Right? For example, I'm here. I have to cross this place. There is a dog. I'm afraid of dog, but I'm not telling the dog I'm afraid. I'm confident. Inside, I'm afraid. Outside, I'm trying to manage and I just walk and I see if the dog is there and all that, and then I cross and then I say, okay, thank God I crossed it. So management of things in life actually teach us how to have a successful life and how to be best at your life. Facial expressions. So you should make good facial expressions. Eye contact. Now have you noticed you are giving me very positive and 100% eye contact. And as a result, I'm also looking back at you and we have this eye contact. See, now I'm there. After some time, I will come back here. Then again, I will go there. This eye contact develops a relationship between the presenter and the audience. If you don't look at, because you know, if I'm looking at you and you're looking back at me, you guys are giving me a message, we are listening to you attentively. And I am giving you a message that I am speaking for you. I'm actually speaking for you and I'm giving you a message, you are important for me. So this is how we can use our proper eye contact. Eye contact doesn't mean you look at one person and you keep looking. Okay, all right, I'm just looking at one person. You just look at one person, then you look there, and if there is the larger audience, you can just look at some of the faces, and this is how you can manage. But eye contact is important. Whenever children tell lies, eyes show. Eyes actually show, right? I caught many people like that. Whenever someone tells a lie, I'm telling you this technique, lie detector. Lie detector is this: whenever someone is telling a lie, ask that person as many questions as possible. My maid was going to be absent from her job. Her husband came. And she said, today my wife will not come for work because someone has died in our family. And it was Asad Yaqub there. And I said, who has died? And his eyeballs moved. But then he said, well, one of our close relatives. Then I said, when did he die? And I was noting all the things here. Then he told me he died last night. Then I said, where did he die? At home or in the hospital? Then I asked the next question, where do they live? I asked around 5 questions, recorded the answers. Next day when the maid came, I asked her who died, when did he die? Her statement was different and her husband's statement was entirely different. So lie detector, ask as many questions, because the people who lie, they never remember what they say. Reality we always remember. What really happened with me, you ask me 1,000 times, I will tell you every time the same story. Rather, I will bring some more details to the story. But if I lie with you, ask me second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, my story will have different versions and all that. So you can use this lie detector technique as well if you want to. Okay, so that's all for this evening, this afternoon rather. Once again, I'm thankful to you that you came in, and inshallah, we will try to arrange these seminars at least once a month or twice a month for you all. Thank you very much.